Hello everybody, I will make a video today about racial hierarchy and racial privilege. As usual, I do not have a video editing program or an external microphone to my camera, so I will buy one of those microphones, but you will have to live with me going back and forth. Okay, what's happening? Earlier this week someone made photographs and published them on our website. In these photographs we took ethnical stereotypical situations and flipped them. So there are one photo of a woman that is rich, dressed well, and it's an expensive house, and there is a female servant serving her tea. The rich woman is Mexican and the servant is white. And that is of course flipping the ethnical stereotypes, because it should be the Mexican servant and the white woman. And then the text goes that, oh, you are going to be shocked by this, and it shows you, essentially we are saying that this picture should make me feel distressed because it should be the white woman rich and the Mexican woman serving. And I don't know. We actually said, we wrote on the website, I'm gonna link below, that this is racial hierarchy. And my initial response to that is, there are no racial hierarchy, okay? There is a similar expression that is white privilege, racial privilege. And what I'm gonna say about white privilege is, where can I get some? I'm 40 years old, I'm obviously white, and I have been unemployed my adult life except 2 years. It has been very difficult for me to get a job for various reasons, and I don't feel things have come to me. Even though I'm white, I should just go ahead of everybody else and get jobs and hottest girls and own 3 Ferraris by now. I'm white, you don't get much whiter than I am. And I don't have any privilege. I haven't been given anything for free that other people haven't gotten for free. So, why? I'm gonna focus in this video on the USA, because if you look at any country, it has its own history, its own conditions, and you have to look at those specifically to explain what's going on. I choose to talk about USA because it's a big country with lots of people, a lot of ethnic groups. We discuss racism very much, and I'm talking in English. And USA is a very good example of how white privilege or racial hierarchy doesn't really exist. First, a short history lesson. Why is it so typical that there is a Mexican servant tending to a white rich person? Where does that come from? This goes back to the colonization of the American continent. In short, North America was colonized by white people, and South America and Mexico was colonized by Spanish and Portuguese people. On top of that, in North America, the population who lived there was wiped out mainly by smallpox, while a lot of them survived in South America and Mexico and was mixed in with the Spanish and Portuguese. So you can see very clearly on the skin color of these people that there are different genetic history on these people. Often when the white came to places in North America, it wasn't even populated because everybody had died. Now, in North America, land was given out to ordinary people. Typically the land was given to some rich, wealthy guy who had all the land, and then he said, come here, work for me as a slave for 5 years, for example. And then, when those years are over, I give you a patch of land. And we have today written contacts in archives where you can see that this woman or this man is going to work for example, 5 years for this rich guy and be him totally faithful and obedient and work his ass off from morning to night for virtually no payment at all. And then, when those years are over, this servant will be given land. Land they will own. And then they built a society around it in which if you had land, you were politically free. And lots of people own land. Of course not everybody, but a lot. Now, in South America and in Mexico, the land was given to a nobleman by a king, when people had to come and work very hard for very little money, and then we died, and he could hire new people, and land was not given out. To this very day, land issues is a problem. People are poor, we are suppressed, we have quite little hope, because we don't own land, we can't start building something of our own. We're trapped in this. So this is the historical reason why Mexican and South Americans are poor and white in North America are rich. Different political system 300 years ago, and we have inherited the benefits of this political system. Now, of course, if you come from Mexico to North America, you have to find some rich guy and work for to get started. Why do you think people want to move to North America? Because you have better chance of getting rich and free over there. Has nothing to do with race. Also, I want to say there are no race. Humans also inbred that you cannot talk about race at all. Okay, we are only one race and it's all of us. By the way, the most genetically diverse two people on the planet is Africans and Australian Aboriginals. And we are both black-haired, black-skinned, curly-haired, okay? We look the same, but we are the most diverse two people. So there's no point of talking about race. Every time I hear anti-racists talk about race, I'm just starting to boil. There are no race. We are one race. It's all of us. Now, I'm gonna make a point here. And this point is, there are no racial hierarchy. First, if you take any ethnic group, whichever, and study them, you will see there is a curve on a diagram like this. The richest and the poorest, and those in the middle. And you can see distribution of wealth between the poorest and the richest, and how which the average is, and you get a picture of their economic well-being. And that curve looks different for each ethnic group. I am now talking exclusively about the USA because I want to have a Petri dish where I look at one sample, and not the entire world, because it's much more complicated if you do that. But if you look at the USA, you can see from one ethnic group to another there is a specific economic distribution. Now they are different. Two different ethnic groups are in different economic wealth situation. So then you can say there are differences between ethnic groups. Yes, there are. Absolutely. But there is not a black to white relationship. If you put them, organize these groups in color, in shades of color, skin color, you will not see a straight line from black being poorest and white being richest. It will be a jagged line with no clear trends. One example of this is Americans who have emigrated from Nigeria in Africa to USA are in average richer, wealthier, not only than Afro-Americans, but also than white Americans. The average white American is not as rich as the average Nigerian immigrant. Now, this is the fun bit. North American Africans are not black. There was white slaves also, and some white people have been mixed into the African slaves who have been paler. Look at Will Smith. He's not black, he's brown. Compare him to an actual African, like, I don't know, Idi Amin. You see, it's completely different skin color. He's not black, he's brown. Okay. So you can see, if you take white people in North America, brown people and black people, it's actually the blacker your skin are, the richer you are. And that contradicts this whole racial hierarchy thing. Now I have sampled 3 groups to get that line. Okay, which is bad statistics. You can lie by cherry picking data, but I pick 3 data and draw a line where the blacker your skin is, the richer you are. The poorest are the white, the Afro-American are in the middle, and the Nigerians are in the top. Now if you took all races, sorry, even I say that, all the ethnic groups are on a line at all, it's like this. So how do we explain this? Well, there are one factor that are consistent. A straight line. If you follow this axis and this axis, you get a straight line. In this axis, wealth. This axis, education. And the more educated you are, the higher your wealth is. It's a very clear relationship between the average education level in one ethnic group and the average economic level in that group. That relation is very clear, very distinctive, and not possible to be denied. Now, you may say that white people are still suppressing non-whites, and you're not going to care about this statistic data. Well, let me explain to you. If you do not think the relation between between wealth and education is the thing, but it's race, then let me point to the number 1 ethnic group in this condition. And those are the Jews. The Jews are the richest of all ethnic groups. Undeniably. Okay? They are the richest. They are also the most well educated. As a matter of fact, of all Nobel Prizes that have ever been handed out, between 1/3 and 1/4 has been given to a Jew. Okay, you don't get Nobel Prizes without education. The Jews are the most well educated and the wealthiest of all people. In North America, it's probably the Afro-American who are the least educated and the least wealthiest. And then you can put all the other ethnic groups into this line. Education is the key to economic welfare. Now, if you're going to tell me that it's not the superiority of the educated, but it's the superiority of white people or something, you have to disregard this, and then you have to explain to me why the Jews are the superior ethnic group. And the only way I can explain the Jewish superiority without education is Nazi propaganda items. The Nazis have said this all the time. The Jews are superior in position. It's because they have a conspiracy. We must solve the Jewish problem forever. Get rid of them. If you do not want to accept that it is education that makes people wealthy, then you have to accept that the Jewish people have a conspiracy, they are suppressing us, they are the enemy of mankind, and you are a Nazi propagandist. So these are your choices. Accept that there are no racial superiority, ethnical superiority, it's educational superiority. Or accept that you like Nazi propaganda. Thank you.